The streets of Salem were a terrifying sight. The witches dancing with the demons in the night. Their evil minions watch the town while it's in bed. Wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead. Old Reverend Paris knew that something was amiss. He felt the evil from a spiritual abyss. He knew the time had come to purify the town. Hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down. No time was wasted in assembling a squad. This pitchfork army on a mission sent from God. No witch was saved from Reverend Paris' brigade. Their crusade, their crusade, their crusade. Call the magistrate and don't you wait another minute, 'cause this town is going to hell if we don't put away the sinning. And we got no time to let a jury have their turn. Let 'em burn, let 'em burn, let 'em burn. The damned were crammed into a carriage on the square. Their faces battered and their bodies all were bare. The Reverend led them to an isolated hill. Time to kill, time to kill, time to kill. One by one their necks were snapped beneath the cedar tree. The spirits vanished and the demons all were free. They dug a hole to hold the devilish remains. They were slain, they were slain, they were slain. The town was safe from all those wicked dissidents. They could continue with their life of innocence, dispensing justice from a higher power. They built a church atop the spirits and the bones. Their moans were heard as they were laying down the stones. But the witches got revenge beneath that steeple bell. They cast a spell, sent the Reverend to hell.
All right, all right. We're going to start a little bit early. I'm a smaller channel, so like 9 viewers is actually good for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see. If you don't like what you see, feel free to thumbs down, give us your opinion in the comments. I don't delete it unless you're spamming porn. So if you happen to say that you think I smell and this sucks, I will actually leave that comment there. We're not Steve McRae. We don't ban people. You know, unless you're just, you know, doxing or something horrid, we'll keep you up. So if you just have a different opinion, this is a free space to share that different opinion. Our mods are told to not ban people, just over opinion. Just, you know, no porn spam, nothing that's directly like TOS related. But if you happen to think I stink, that's cool. You can share that opinion here. So right now, I have one of my favorite people here online, Exiled, joining me. Exiled, we're going to be discussing a recent video of the Goblins and some screenshots. How are you doing, Exiled?
I'm doing great. Really good. Really, really good.
Good.
We haven't seen this footage, right? Tell everybody that.
I haven't seen this footage. I don't know if you've seen this footage, but like I literally said, I will watch this and get an opinion kind of fresh. So you're seeing this on the fly, an opinion based on what I'm hearing, like or seeing from Cheshire's mouth. So I have not seen this. This is not pre-viewed. This is all fresh.
No,
It's like reality TV.
somebody so somebody sent me this and told me that you and I should review this. So I can't wait.
Well, I'm flattered that you guys thought of me as being a potential buddy. Exile's really good, and I try. So appreciate that. So let's see here. So Exile, are you going to screen share the video or am I going to screen share? Let me look here.
You are.
We are professionals here, by the way.
You will be doing that.
We are super pro. So I hate to bother you, Excel, but I don't think you linked me the video. I'm scrolling through.
Oh, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it with my copy of it? Or
sure, yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I will easily get you that. You want me to put it into the?
Yep. For the first complaint is we don't have a busy and we don't have a producer. It's just us, so you're gonna have to put up with our fly by the night kind of stuff that we do.
Okay, so it looks like this has rendered on my alt channel, Lulu. Copy. Here you go, sweets. Right there.
All right, let's see here. All right. Looking up the video. Did you throw it in StreamYards? There we go, Streamers. Oh, look at you. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Got it.
I figured out how to get my face to show too.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay.
Or my picture.
Okay, great. So is there a time stamp I need to go to?
Okay, the person who sent it to me said around 13 minutes.
13 minutes. Okay, so we'll go just right before 13 minutes here.
Oh, wow, weird delay.
Are you delayed from me talking?
Nope, just in the live chat.
Okay, so 12, well, yeah, there's probably going to be like a 3 to 7 minute delay, it looks like, probably, just so you know.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go at 12:59. Hopefully that's enough back. And then let me go screen share.
Okay. And let's see here. Thanks, Strawberry Harpy. I love streaming with the Holy Spackle. Hi, Les. Hi, Busies. Hi, Unirock.
Wow, Unirock. We're special
Kathy,
today.
Les Hemmings, Benghazi, Leanne, Dat High Guy, Maya, Strawberry Harpy.
I think this is the first time I've seen Busy's crack pipe, and let alone Unirock. So,
wow.
So that's interesting. All right, let's see here.
Hey, Conrad.
All right, I'm gonna share screen. Do-do.
My sub count makes my eyes watching this make you special. Thank you, Unirock. We have been blessed here today. Yeah.
It's almost like the Pope. We should kiss the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
You got the link?
I do have the link. It's just that you named the link very close to my link. And so then I was like, which one do I share? I found it, though. I think, mostly. Dun, dun.
I don't even think I titled it on my Lulu Chan. Did I? Maybe.
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right. So I got it shared. If there's a sound issue, let me know early, but it should be fine.
All right.
I'm playing.
I'll mute.
What you've done affects the other person. If you don't have that understanding, or if the other person doesn't believe that you understand, then the apology is going to ring hollow, even if it is genuine. Because at the core of any kind of relationship, there has to be communication and there has to be understanding. So what do you do with this? What do you do with this situation? You can do all of the above. This person here makes this comment on point.
If anybody takes advice from this woman,
you have to accept the apology. Accept the apology and remember what
we
they
need
did.
to send you a
You can
counselor.
Accept the apology and
she's talking about Twitter.
Reconcile.
Yeah.
If the aggressor is sincerely sorry, they will understand.
If you really want to
exactly.
apologize, you really have to do it this way.
Any combination of like 3 to 7 things. And you're
Sweet.
not wrong for
Teach
choosing
Red's
any of
rhetoric
them.
how to apologize.
If you decide that
He doesn't
someone
know how
isn't
to.
sincere and you choose not to accept their apology, you're not in the wrong for doing that. You might be incorrect about whether they're sincere or not, but that doesn't mean you want that person around you.
Yeah, I definitely don't want you around me.
And it's okay.
This is Chesh teaching the unlearned her following. This is how she talks to them.
How I know you guys are too dumb for interpersonal relationships, so let me advise you.
They're blaming him for his mother cheating, and it's the sin follows this child deal. He's the innocent one. Yeah, it appears that this kid, well, I guess he's an adult now, didn't do anything and was treated by crap by 2 people who were betrayed by someone in their family that resulted in him. He's the consequence of the actions that they were hurt by.
You suggest aborting him at 3.
Him, right? But
yeah.
How do you apply
God, she's sick.
This? We deal.
I think she's terrifying.
We deal with people on the internet. So there's avatars. There's names that aren't people's real names. You don't know where people live. You're not knocking on somebody's house and be like, hey, can Tyler come out and play? I don't know. Hi, can Brainy Beaver come out
she
and play?
did it.
Like,
she did it.
I'm not saying that, right? So what do you do with apologies on the internet? How does that
wipe your ass with them?
Oh my God, she's actually doing this.
Reconcile something like that, and who do you give an apology to? When there are so many people that are not part of a situation that are demanding apologies because of one reason or another.
Stop it here.
You stuck your nose in something and you were right about it, and people
stop. This is Cheshire telling us who is in the inner circle and should know about all of the information and who should stay completely out of it. See, so what happened is Cheshire ended up getting completely ousted from the larger community. And here she is complaining that everybody who weighed in on this shouldn't have done so, right? So like she's like, this is the people, we know who's on the in group, we are in the know, and only the people who are in the know should be even talking about this. That's what she's doing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like she's definitely got her little like we know better thing. Have you ever noticed that Cheshire and Steve and Reds all have this whole patronizing attitude toward their audience? Now, granted, some of their audience seems socially behind. Like they might be smart and can do math, but like, I mean, have you met Astronomy Live? Like something's up with him socially, right? So like some of their audience is so socially awkward. I'm not shocked she's talking to someone like Astronomy Live like that because I've seen his social interactions. But like, gosh, like some of these people like have more charisma than her, have more friendships than her, have more success in life than her. And she's talking to those people like that too. So like it's a broad audience she's speaking to, but she's speaking to them like, we know best and y'all are toddlers. It's fascinating. They have that cult-like mentality that like our leaders know best. We're the in-group, we know.
Yeah, that's what she tried to pull for the past 2 years. But like, we've got a question. by Maya and Unirock. What did Cheshire do to get kicked out of the greater community? Just wondering, I might have forgotten. Okay, so it's not exactly like they kicked her out, but when you hear where you hear somebody like Crafty Keela saying, yeah, this bitch over here, she's a problem. She's a problem. This, what they're doing and what they've been doing and the harassment they've been conducting, it's a problem. When you hear somebody like that, that's kind of a, I would call it, they haven't been kicked out yet, but they're sort of like, they're on notice. Her ass is on notice.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I've
my
noticed.
opinion. That's my opinion.
I noticed by playing around in Plot Hole and Team Skeptic, there are people that I don't even recognize that absolutely hate her because of whatever went down with her and Crafty. Like, there are people that just are not recipient to whatever she's putting out there. So it seems like she really has to stay in her lane now. And I think when we say the greater community, we're not talking about Steve's little weird niche community where they're like agnosticism, let's explain it again. But
and again.
Over and over again. Venn diagram time. But when you
tell me what I am. Yeah. Am I
Right.
an atheist or an agnostic? I forgot. Yeah.
But like when she leaves that niche now, she's got a big of a problem because a lot of the debunking community has her number. They know that she's trouble.
So that's what I meant by that, Uni. And Maya, I mean, she hasn't been formally kicked. You can't really do that to anybody. But
Yeah.
this is why she's trying to put everything back in its place where she had it before. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I just thought it was a good point to jump in and just say, here's what's to come, and let's see if I was right.
Right. Yep. So let me go ahead and play the rest.
Fuck off. And now you're demanding an apology for sticking your nose in something that wasn't your business. Nobody's going to apologize to you because nobody asked for your help. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I don't understand where
Oh, what's this Trigglypuff thing? Okay, Trigglypuff is a meme that comes from the leading up to the 2016 election. Yeah, what the fuck is she using Trigglypuff for? Is that supposed to be Unirock or something?
I don't know.
That doesn't
Goblin.
That doesn't look anything like or remind me of Unirock or anybody that we know. It more like that would be Manya, in my opinion.
Maybe that's her version of what she imagines trolls to be. I don't know. I have to confess, I am Gen X. I might not be cool and not know the reference, but yeah, I have the same question. I don't know what that point is.
That's supposed to be Uni. Okay, no, that is like Manya or who else? Sweet Heathen.
Maybe it's the cap on his head. So you know how Uni wears the ball cap like protector. I call it the ball cap condom. You know, because he sweats and he's trying to keep his ball cap nice or whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, a do-rag. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. But Unirock is clearly not pink. I don't think he's a communist, for instance. Joke.
They're just desperate here. I think they're trying to like appeal to people who follow Undoomed or something. I don't know. I don't get it. It makes no sense. It's stupid.
But I paused,
just like she is.
I paused for a reason. So like I was wondering real quick, who is she addressing that she's saying people demand apologies? Is she trying to speak to Menace to Sobriety? Is she trying to speak to Unirock? Is she trying to speak to Nate? Like who's she trying to address here?
I think maybe she heard somebody say these people need to apologize for whatever. I don't know. I don't care to have an apology from this person.
No.
Does anybody?
I think she's missing the point. So Cheshire, I think you're a non-moderate cunt, and I don't want your apology. But what I would say is that folks that have donated to things that Reds and Jared and you and Ilya Moon and all these nonsense people, asked for a donation to. If the donations did not go as promised and were like, say, ooh, surprise, somebody lied and they don't actually have cancer, things like that, yes, you apologize. You don't have to apologize to Menace to Sobriety or even Unirock or me or anybody. I don't think our self-worth or our morality or anything like that hinges on that. I think what we say is like, I am not wronged here, but I can watch somebody else get wronged, which is your viewership and those people that donated to a fraudulent cause. And you owe your viewers an apology. And instead, you've had nothing but a non apology. And that's been disgusting to watch. I don't think Unirock needs her apology. I don't think Exile needs her apology. I don't think Menace needs her apology. I don't know what the fuck is she on about.
She's just flapping her cheese whiz. So just let's hear the rest of it.
Why this gets confused with people. If somebody follows you around and tells you, like, gives you some advice, but they're a stalker that's been following you around that you've told to fuck off ages ago, what makes them think they've earned anybody's going to listen to anything they have to say?
Hi,
Right?
I'm a
No,
figure on
that's
the
not how that
internet. You're all
works.
stalking
You
me.
shout at somebody with a megaphone and one of the things you said was correct. That doesn't mean, one, you're appreciated for being right. Two, that anybody should apologize for telling you to fuck off in the first place, because whether you were right or wrong wasn't the reason you were getting told to fuck off. The reason you're getting told to fuck off was because of your behavior, not because of the information that is buried in your bullshit.
You've been told to fuck off because of your behavior. You, Cheshire, have been told to fuck off because of your behavior. And I'm here to tell you again to fuck off, yeah? Keep doing whatever it is you're doing, but fuck off anyway. That was rude, wasn't it? I'm sorry. You're muted, Holy Spackle.
Sorry, I was laughing. Keep on doing it anyway, but fuck off anyway. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I keep making Brian snort over here. He's hearing me. Hey, Fabio.
Hey, Fabio.
Never attribute malice or 4D chess strategy to something that can be explained with the simple statement, they're idiots.
Thank you.
So you told me that ages ago, Fabio.
Fabio's law, this is what we call it now. Fabio's law is this exactly. Like, we're going, I don't understand. Why are these people doing what they do? Why is Steve this? Why is Steve that? Why is Shanny this? Why is Shanny that? And he's like, they're idiots. Like, why are we trying to understand idiots? Good point. You know, the deep dive in the mind of the idiots.
Hey, Cheshire, all your cheese belongs to us. All your cheese traps belong to us. There we go.
Yep. Let's watch more cheese straps.
The thing is that you don't get apologies without understanding. And when you step into someone else's sphere and you were not invited into that sphere, you're not going to get any apologies because you weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
All right, listen here, Missy. What you do is public. What you do, what Reds does, what Unirock does, what Steve does, what I'm doing here, these are public things, right? So public things can be addressed publicly. That's my attitude on this. So you publicly are complaining because people called out fraudulent fundraisers, and that upsets you, because if it wasn't for those meddling rascals, you would have gotten away with it. Like, what are you trying to say here?
Oh, and I just love to remind everybody, this is my favorite part. You asked Unirock to do this. You literally brought him in and asked him to do all of this stuff that he's been doing. So don't say he stuck his nose in where it wasn't wanted. You brought him in, told him to do this shit.
That's true.
This is the best part of it to me. This is the best part.
Are you referring how they reeled in Unirock to sick him on the TST, Dragoon, everybody that had a falling out, like those multi-communities, right, with Steve?
Yeah.
And they said, go, dog, go. And they thought they had a bulldog that they could just, like, wield on a leash.
Yeah. They loved when he was working for them, so to speak.
Yeah.
He was never doing that, though. I could see that. I could see that. I got little
Right.
hints of that.
Right. And as soon as they couldn't weaponize him, then he's trash. He's the worst. He's awful. They're just dumping on him right and left because they can't utilize him as a weapon. That's cute. Guess who they also did that with? Jared has connections. He has friends in low places, and one of them is Defango, and they tried to do it with Defango. They brought in the anti-uni, somebody that is garbage, and they tried to sick him on everybody too. But then he became unwieldy and dangerous, so they kind of ran away from him. They don't even play with uni. They kind of launch insults back and forth a little bit, or say this or that, but they pretend like Defango doesn't even exist, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
These are so this is highly hilarious what she's saying right now. You stuck your nose in where it wasn't wanted. Oops. You asked him to. We are not forgetting this.
Right. So we weren't doing that for your benefit, Chess, or Red's benefit, and you can complain about Schadenfreude and things like that. But honestly, people want the truth. If something seems shady, and should somebody not ought to stop it? Are we the Catholic Church now? On the internets, do we hide our problems? Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna get all these messages from Catholics now. But is that what we do? You have a fraudulent fundraiser and you just hide it because it's for the good of the group. Shh, shh, nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. Cheshire was trying to cover that up. I have evidence of her really building Ilya up as this figure and weaponizing her against certain people in the community, including me and you and Crafty and probably Jessica. But they were doing all this stuff. Steve was helping them. Steve McCrae was actually helping them do this.
Right, but he tries to do it behind the scenes, right? He's he makes a comment and pushes for it, and then he kind of goes and filters back. And he always tries to let his minions handle it all. It's similar to what technique that Red uses too, where he has his attack dogs that used to be Sean and Jared at the leash. And they'll go after you, and they'll say things that imply, maybe it'll make you feel like they might dox you, or they might call you work or something, but they will imply it and leave it so ambiguous that it's really hard to prove, right? But that's the feeling that you get, right? And they would come around like little slime balls they were and do their thing. And they would have ties to people that would do that. So like I mentioned, friends in low places, people Look a Pig and things like that they would utilize as tools for them. So yeah, I never felt Jared was ever an upright guy, but I always noticed that how Red's utilized his little generals, and now he's a general down right now, which is Sean. So let me go ahead and play some more.
In fact, you ought to be apologizing. If you found out that something went wrong for somebody and you knew that was coming and you tried to warn them, earnestly tried to warn them, but you still stepped into their sphere, you stepped out of line.
What the hell is she talking about?
I will metaphorically smack you onto the other side of the road and then run you over, cheese. Okay? That is what happens.
Metaphorically, here. She said.
Metaphorically slap you upside the head onto the other side of the fucking road where you were telling other people they don't belong. And these people had evidence and tried to share it with you. And you mocked them, your team, Reds and those guys, mocked them, said, no, these aren't fraudulent fundraisers, ha, 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 you can't prove it. And this went on for a long time. Everybody saw it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The only ones that didn't see it are the idiots that are in your live chat right now.
Not our live chat, Chesh's live chat.
No, this live chat kicks ass.
Yeah, this live chat's cool. You guys are fine. Let me go ahead and I'm going to rewind this just a little bit here so we can hear this again. This is insane. She's upset that somebody saw fraud, reported it, and it's still wrong because you're outside of your lane.
This is sphere, and you were not invited into that sphere. You're not going to get any apologies. because you weren't supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, you ought to be apologizing.
It's hilarious.
If you found out that something was wrong for somebody and you knew that that was coming and you tried to warn them, earnestly tried to warn them, but you still stepped into their sphere, you stepped out of line. And what you ought to be doing is saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that that happened to you. I know I overstepped my bounds and I'm sorry. I was really just trying to look out." And
I am sorry that happened to your viewers, the people that actually have generous hearts and are open-minded and are good human beings. And they thought they could help somebody that might be suffering and that they could alleviate that suffering, because she said she was suffering from cancer. And I am sorry that cancer survivors and people that maybe are on a fixed income, that are also disabled, that maybe spend a lot of time online because this is their social outlet and they're huge fans of Steve, huge fans of Reds. I am sorry that those people and their big hearts got taken for a ride by that bitch Ilya. And I am sorry
Yep.
that Red's rhetoric does not know how to apologize. And this manipulative cunt is trying to say that anybody who stood up for those people that donated and were stolen from, like, this is theft. Fraud is theft. She wants us to
Yeah.
apologize for pointing that out.
Maybe
No.
she could get on her being such an internet genius throne and start pointing out who it was who helped Ilya fraud the community. Maybe she could do that. And if she would do that, then nobody else would have to. You know, because Ilya didn't do this alone. She had assistance, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, well, Ilya and Sean both let something slip, and I noticed it. They said I didn't set the amount. It was suggested to me, and they let it slip, and then they catch themselves. Both of them did that, and I
Yep.
think that's why some people wondered, were you pressured to do that? Like what, and why they slid it in, and why they hushed it, and they were scared. I don't know. That was really weird.
Who was it that said to Ilya, "Hey, we could probably get about 7K from the community. We've done it before. We'll probably get you about 7K. Hey, we did a good job." We I saw a screenshot of Red saying to Ilya something. Oh, how did he put it? We did a pretty good pull this time, or something like that. That was about Bull's fundraiser. But like, they know what their community is worth, and they know that they can draw it from them if they just pull the right strings the right way. That is my opinion. That's what I've observed. And by the way, I'm allowed to observe things. I'm part of the audience, yeah.
Stay in your lane. Gouge your eye out if you're tempted to watch chess, because that is not your lane.
Sinners. Anyway.
God.
I know, isn't this great negative? Isn't this great?
I
Honest
love
to God.
First of all, I need a shout out to Tony, or I always want to say Tony tonight. Titan said if it wasn't for those meddling kids, I would have gotten away with it too. That is literally the vibe I'm getting. Like, I think I'm gonna meme this. It's gonna be like Scooby Doo, because this is just insane. Like, I'm so mad that I got caught. Not that I did something wrong, but if it wasn't for you guys, and that's, I think what's weird is, like, I didn't think necessarily that Chesh was skimming from the top or anything like that, but the weird cover up is now making me have questions. It's like scratching my head, going, what is wrong with you people? But like, who's to know, right? You can't tell. But it's very bizarre actions, very bizarre responses. So anyway, I'm gonna play some more.
and you can either take that or leave that.
I'll leave it.
But that's what decent human beings do.
Oh, don't tell me what decent human beings do.
I know.
When you
I do
step
feel
into other people's spheres and other people's sandboxes.
Okay, I need to tell you what decent people do like Cheshire. Decent people like Cheshire think it's a good idea to make a scenario up of supposed sexual assault that did not happen, just because she wants to win an argument, and then she wants to connect it to your name and your titles and everything, and then have it spammed all over the internet, so that way somebody that actually knows you in real life can go, what is this about? That's what Cheshire does. So tell me what decent people do, Chesh.
You are a flat earther. I will jump into your sandbox and kick sand all over your face anytime I like. It's the internet. It's like, you're on the internet doing these things. Shouldn't have to explain this because it gets really boring. This is the same thing she would explain to everybody. You're on the internet. Therefore, we are allowed to reply to you. It's just so funny in a sandbox. It's like every 5 words we have to stop this. That's how stupid it is.
Yeah, it's just her implication of decent people, and I'm like, you do know that you're not under the decent people category, right? We put you in goblin trash because that's what you are. And I mean, people tell you what they are usually when you first meet them, and she did tell us she was goblin trash. So there you go.
Yep.
And you've brought a pile of cat shit and 1 toy. You don't expect people to say thank you for bringing that toy. You expect people to say, hey, take your cat shit out of my fucking
But the cat shit's your cat shit. Take it back.
sandbox, asshole. But I brought this toy. See, you should apologize for me for trying to kick me out because I brought this toy. No.
So is Ilya the cat shit or the toy? I'm confused. Which one was it that you brought? Did you bring the cat shit or the toy?
I don't understand this analogy. I need a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
I want to know
Ilya
what's the cat shit.
Yeah. I think Ilya was the cat shit and you didn't bring any toys.
I don't know what the toy is. Who's the toy? I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so there's cat shit and toys, and no toys and apologies. Okay.
You brought a shitload of cat shit.
I did?
And until you take your garbage...
Okay, let's say she's talking about Unirock. Let's just say she is, okay?
I love that face.
You brought it.
She's ready.
Again, just remind you, you brought him in to your circle and he went rogue on your ass. So I don't know what she's talking about here. It's just like nobody knows but her. She's confused and she's actually just showing her ass here.
I kind of want to draw what she's saying, like a diagram as she's saying it. Just something about cat
Oh
shit.
my God.
And keep
Oh my
like
God, those
animation.
drawings. Yeah.
All right.
The fuck out of my sandbox and go.
Is it your sandbox? Because you're really kind of tagging on to Steve's sandbox.
Away.
Oh, bitch, we
There's
are so
nothing
into your
to be
sandbox.
thankful for.
We are going to be
There's
showing the
nothing to be
screenshots
sorry
later
for.
of your sandbox. We are up in your sandbox. We've got your loot. Yeah?
By sandbox, does she mean sandy vagina? Because I think she has one.
I don't know what she means. But I'm going to go with it, right? We're up in your sandbox. Yeah? We got your Doxing group, and we are revealing it tonight. We are going to show you the types of bullshit that these fuckers do. It's going to be so good. Keep going, cheese. Keep going.
Anytime like somebody would be mad in a raid at WoW, and like this is like a few years ago, like whenever guys would be yelling about sand in the vagina, and I don't know why. This is where I'm going with this. Sorry about that. I'm mature.
It depends. Is it
Her micro expressions drive me nuts. I don't like them.
a civil fuck-offable offense or a criminal fuck-offable offense? Yeah, there's a difference between civil and criminal. If you're going to get into litigation, now you've got a different problem on your hands. Now you've got a
Speaking
whole
of
nother
litigation.
What about litigation?
No, I can't say anything yet. But yeah, she better watch her ass too. She's going to get sued.
Oh yeah, I've heard somebody
sued.
in Canada's looking at you, Cheshire.
slew. I'm talking about people talking shit on the internet. That's usually not criminal. If it's gone to criminal, again, got a different problem on your hands. But yeah, I mean, you could still take apologies the same way, whether they're criminal or not.
Criminal apologies? What
What the fuck is she talking about?
I'd rather someone feel apologetic or remorseful. I honestly couldn't care less about hearing.
Wait, I have an example of a criminal apology. So let's say it's like Silver Lining Playbook, and you, in a bipolar fit of rage and despair, untreated, flare up, and you beat the living shit out of your wife's lover, like Silver Lining Pickup. Remember that movie? And then if he goes, hey, I apologize, even though he's got a restraining order on him, then that would be illegal, right? That would be an illegal apology, right?
Or let's say you bring in someone who lies about shit, and then she pretends to have cancer, and you run a fundraiser for her, and she gets busted. Is that criminal or civil? What is it? And anyway, Goblin is not making a lot of sense tonight, as usual.
I don't know if it's me because I just got off work and maybe I'm tired, or if it's, but
I really appreciate the person who sent this to me and told me that we should review this.
A criminal apology is, I'm sorry I lied about having cancer, having to move to defraud people.
Apologies.
So sorry. And by the way, Sean didn't pay anybody back. Ilya at least is trying.
An apology. I don't know why apologies carry so much weight. In some cases they do, and in some cases they don't. It really depends on your relationship with the person.
Me.
If you have a strong relationship with the person, then an apology makes more sense. When you don't have a relationship with that person, it doesn't really make sense. Just do better. And most people are going to be happy with somebody just fucking off and doing better as a person, rather than either trying to reconcile or apologize. If somebody is demanding an apology and you don't know that, like you don't have that kind of relationship with that person, they're digging for other shit.
You mean like how Manya demanded an apology?
They're digging for some kind of
negative
validation,
exponents?
or they're digging for some kind of verification. Validation, or
the word you're looking for, you idiot, is there are some people that demand an apology because they want like a bend to the knee. They want to win. Like
Reds, constantly asking for apologies.
Yeah, there's the bend to the knee. I am not that person. I don't care if you bend the knee. So like I don't know what she's thinking about, but apologies aren't necessarily about capitulation and satisfying the people that are your enemies. Apologies are about making right for the people that you've wronged. So you apologize to the people you've harmed. I don't understand why this is a problem. Why is this rocket science?
For example, you might, Cheshire, apologize to people for bringing in a complete phony and holding her up as if she was some sort of goddess.
Right.
Yeah?
You could see,
you can speak on all matters concerning your enemies. And then she ends up defrauding the community by pretending to have cancer. You might apologize for that. If you don't, that's fine too, because, you have plausible deniability that you had anything at all to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is completely just strange.
And I'm gonna stare up into the air and pretend like I'm wondering about.
She has these. It's not that she has weird expressions. Her expressions are always over the top. So the whole sipping tea, like if you're a decent person, and she's like Kermit the Frog sipping her tea, and I'm just okay, I know the meme, but can you not meme? Is there any way for you to I don't know, do life without memeing? Is your whole life a meme, Josh? just asking.
She's
wondering.
Acting like Trigglypuff right now.
Right? Trigglypuff.
I don't know. Maybe views on YouTube.
Bitch, if I wanted views on YouTube, I would so go a different route than what I'm going. I don't give a damn. However, like, share, and subscribe.
If it's both criminal and civil, we should use the term Kyle Curtis for it. Well, okay. If Kyle, let me ask you guys, if Kyle Curtis was to show up on a video, I'll give.
By the way, I think Kyle Curtis should apologize to the people he has wronged, like sincerely apologize. And I mean, like I could put out a whole list of people I think Kyle should apologize to. But if I was Kyle, I certainly wouldn't apologize to Steve, and I have my reasons.
Give I'll give two options. He could either come onto a video by himself, or he could come onto a video with somebody. With somebody could be, I don't know, anybody. We've seen him go onto various channels before. But if he were to come onto a video and do an apology.
Guys, I'm so sorry that I didn't show up to the court appointment for taking my channel back.
And do like one of those internet apology videos. Would you buy it? Digging for a controlled response. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Bless. Exploratory. That's exactly what I was looking for. Digging for a controlled response. Because as soon as you can demonstrate getting a controlled response, it's bullying. It's a bullying tactic. If people are looking for you to apologize for things that you had no control over, so, you know, victim blaming, asking victims to apologize for crimes that other people committed, stuff.
Okay, I see what she's doing here. Do you see what she's doing?
Actually, I'm sorry, but I just don't get it. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things that she's doing is she's basically saying for people to chant, I want an apology. You should apologize. You should make things right. I'm waiting for this real apology. She's then saying, like, even if Kyle was to do, she's using Kyle as an example, a real apology, like that there's bullying in play, like there's a controlled response, like he is. It sounds like she's trying to. Let me rewind this.
I think
again.
Unirock is right. She's framing herself and her friends as the victim.
Well, yeah, of course.
What I was looking for. Digging for a controlled response. Because as soon as you can demonstrate getting a controlled response, it's bullying. It's a bullying tactic. If people are looking for you to apologize for things that you had no control over, so, you know, victim blaming, asking victims to apologize for crimes that other people committed, stuff.
So nobody's asking for Reds to apologize for a crime that he didn't commit. So like if he, we can only ask Reds to apologize for the things that he does, right? So what he did is he promoted somebody and had their back, and let's just take the most Reds friendly way possible and say, let's say he's duped. He's fooled by two friends in a row. Let's pretend like this is like poor Reds. Damn, two friends in a row duped because he's too much of a dumbass to actually debunk and figure out if somebody's scamming, right? So let's bring in the brain of Reds, who apparently is just like a flat earther, herpaderp, and he's duped by his poor friends, like who were just, I don't know, they just thought it would be okay to lie about cancer and shit. And Reds is the victim, let's say that. And Reds is like, gee, guys, I'm so sorry. I did not know that Sean was a piece of shit, even though I used his piece of shit qualities against people. I didn't know that Ilya was a piece of shit, even though I probably know Ilya better than anybody.
Yeah.
So let's just assume like he's this poor victim, right? We still have this guy that vouched for them, and then during the investigation ran interference. And we do have a screenshot of him posting going, I looked at Ilya's financials. Everything's fine. No fraud here.
Yeah. He was fooled by Ilya. And she was.
Sounds like it's running interference at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Steve, Cheshire, and Reds should all apologize, even though they're victims. Maybe they are victims. Maybe they were fooled by Ilya. I can actually imagine that. But they should still apologize for putting her out there as if she was super special, deserved to have her own channel with paid for 3,000 subscribers, fake subscribers, so she could game the system and get money from YouTube with her group. And you promoted all of that, and you promoted her as a victim of rape, things we now know are not true. and doing all of that stuff to help her and support her in her scam, even though you did it inadvertently. Yeah, even though you are a victim too of being fooled by Ilya, you should still apologize for what you did. Yeah.
Right. But they just don't see it. And I think they think that we want the apology. And I don't know about anybody else in chat, but I don't want an apology to me. I just think it would be a
Yeah.
decent human response to apologize to your audience.
And self-reflect a bit. And Charlotte is right, by the way. Reds was shaming everyone for questioning anything. Wasn't he? He actually called people scumbags for questioning her. The next day, of course, you know, that changed.
Right. The whole way he was obfuscating, he was condemning, he was vitriolic the whole way through. And yeah, he should apologize. And not necessarily to us, but like the ongoing lies that he was perpetrating, like online. Like it's just insane.
Whose brilliant idea was it to set Ilya up to accept money into her bank account for other fundraisers? You know, whoever did that should actually apologize for doing that, because obviously she wasn't a trustworthy person. So, although she may have handled the money perfectly, that money should not have gone into her account, especially for Bull's fundraiser. That was sick.
Reds is only sorry his bank account won't have tens of thousands deposited. He needs a new camera, folks. A new camera.
You know, why does the money always have to go through other people into Red's bank so he can handle it? It makes no sense at all. I can't figure that out. I think we're going to get to the bottom of it eventually. Yeah. But that's a question out there on the table. Anyway, sorry.
Yep. Don't forget, the first person both Sean and Ilya apologized to in their confessions was to Reds. I think that was a requirement. I think Reds told them to.
Yeah, I do too.
If you know anything about how Reds operates,
yep.
He uses people as tools. For instance, if he wants, Demi's not been online, but if he wanted her to be an attack dog and put out his narrative on the San Francisco trip, he goes, "Hey, Demi, put out this video," and he gives this side of one side of the story and, you know, put it out. Reds does that with other people. He briefs them beforehand. If he knows something's coming down the pipe, he meets with them in a call and tells them what to do. I've known Red enough to know this is how he operates. Like he has a meeting with you and tells you what to do. And one of the requirements might be a threat of like, hey, if you don't do X and apologize to me, which would take a lot of him off the hook in his mind probably. You know, X will happen. Usually he has somebody's knocks or something like that. I'm not saying that this is, you know, what actually happened, but in my opinion, in my observance of how Reds operates, he does meet with people and tells them in a briefing of how to go about things like this. He doesn't just let it go automatically, just so you know, or without his hand in it, I guess.
Reds is a little skeever, is what you're saying.
Yeah, just a
there
little
you go.
Bit. Or a cult leader.
All right.
Like that. That's harassment. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Just don't.
I am not a terrorist. Also, free Palestine.
Don't talk to these kinds of people. Because if you're talking to these kinds of people, you're giving them what they want.
I'm actually more of a Zionist than a Palestine, but okay.
They don't do it. It's just going to pile on. People demanding apologies has always made me feel weird. I can never wrap my mind around it. I guess you're right about that in some cases. No. Everybody's like, no, because nobody would buy it from Kyle. Now, okay. Now let's say if Kyle.
Part of the reason why people don't buy it from Kyle is because Kyle has this Southern technique of coming in real sweet and being like, you know, I might have, could have done better, but I'm really sorry that we had a falling out. We were really close, and It's not what I'm intended to do. And he comes in really sweet. And now that we know this trick, that's why I like Kyle. Like,
Yeah.
but
Put it away, Kyle. Just
if we
just
didn't know
down
Kyle,
the
then
act.
we would appreciate that.
Kyle came on, and let's say he goes on with Steve. Let's say that Steve and Kyle are on a stream together, and Kyle is doing an apology stream.
Kyle still has way more
Would you
charisma
be
than
more
Steve,
likely to,
even
'cause
with
I think
everything
if
down.
he did just a regular stream, nobody would buy a single word he said. But if he went on to a stream with, say, Steve, and
Oh
had
my
that kind of
God.
and had more of a conversation where Steve and Kyle's apologizing and Steve's talking to him, would you maybe be more likely to listen to what Kyle has to say? Not that you necessarily buy whatever he has to say, but would you be more curious to hear him out?
You
He
tried
could
to
start
do
by
a
apologizing, then
lawsuit.
prove his worth
failed.
after. Until he proves his worth, he's a liar now, proven.
Lawsuits.
He's a toxic narcissist.
I agree. I was very disappointed on how Kyle played out, only because I thought he had some real talent. Like he did have some talent, and I cared about some of the same social issues as he did. So it was a big bummer. But Kyle, dude, you got to do better.
Narcissistic person, don't feed the troll. Don't feed the troll. No, without actions, he means he means it. Yep, not without actions. He means it. Mm-hmm. I would only buy an apology from Kyle if it was his last stream just before turning himself into the authorities. That would carry at least 1%.
So, negative exponents is like saying out loud what, like, I think maybe Exiled and I are thinking, which is she is doing a bait and switch. So she's like, she's trying to make a false equivalency. So like,
It's
there's a difference.
opposite day. It's opposite day every day with Cheshire.
Let's take their view of Kyle. So according to their view of Kyle, and I don't have quite the same view as Kyle as they do, but like what I'm gathering from all the endless tweets that Steve provides us is Kyle, quote unquote, stole a channel and left poor Bull, RIP, and Steve in the dark and took all the money, right, and ran, and then the channel and everything, and just shut him out. And then they sue his ass, right, because he says sue me, and they're all in a debacle. It's been 2 years of this nonsense at least. From their point of view, and we're gonna just grant it for a half second, he is a piece of shit. Like, he betrayed a really good friend. He supposedly stole thousands of dollars, right? That's what they're saying. And he's just pretty grimy. Now, he still didn't lie about cancer, so we have to give Kyle some credit. Like Ilya, actually, in my mind, is worse. Like, lying about cancer is some really low shit, right? He took back a channel, right? So let's, like, in the supervillain of Kyle, right? And they're acting like he's a criminal, which, like, I mean, technically maybe, like, wiping your ass with like a summons maybe might be, I don't know, but like on my scale of criminality, it's not so high. But considering how criminal they make him be and how horrible and awful,
Oh God.
are they comparing us to
I don't
Kyle?
know. I don't care about Kyle. I think the whole thing was a ridiculous lawsuit, to be honest.
Are they
And
bait and switching?
I don't care. I don't care about Kyle. Oh, yeah, they're bait and switching all the time. Hi, conspiracy cats. I hope you stick around because we're exposing a doxing group tonight. We have screenshots. They're coming soon.
A list of things Kyle didn't do would be hilarious, right? Well, the way that they say, like, about Kyle, like, I mean, he pretty much is, like, it's just everything. Kyle's the worst. But anyway, what does Kyle even have to do with this? Absolutely fucking nothing, really, technically. She's equivocating and directing the focus back to Kyle. So they have, like, this case.
Forever. Yeah.
And she wants to move the attention over to, oh my God, Kyle, speaking of, we have this case pending. And she's trying to move the heat away from it. So Kyle is a segue, for one, to move in a different direction. And two, it's equivocating, right? So,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
It's equivocating. You run a little freaking racket on the
Oh,
internet, on social media.
without a jelly donut, I love you. Don't forget, he tried to hijack the Guardian project. That is a whole nother weird little side note that I would love to get into. But yeah, that was another community that they kind of horned in on, and that was hilarious. But anyway, I'm going to play some more.
And wait. I think that Steve was being gullible. No, I think that Steve was being gullible. My opinion is that Kyle is a coordinated manipulator. He'd have to prove otherwise now. I think that's fair. If Steve is reconnecting with this asshole, I would unsubscribe.
Yawn.
Yo, Michael's right. Is Kyle drunk or no? Kyle's not drunk in this.
Doesn't it, Simos? Yeah.
So we have a lot of people in streams asking if 62 IQ is bald. I'm going to say no. I think she has thin hair, and I think she has a giant forehead.
She had radiation treatment.
Oh, please don't tell me she's
For
doing
her
an Ilya
cancer.
Moon. Ilya Moon.
Anyway, that's not very nice, is it? Oh my goodness. Kyle is dumber than Steve. He could have come out. Yes.
Yes.
Twice should have. Yeah, that's the frustrating part.
Fabio is like right on with this comment. Absolutely. Like, what the fuck, Kyle? Like, the only thing I could think of is hookers and blow. I don't know what's going on with Kyle. Who knows? Fabio's law applies.
Nay.
Idiots.
Steve got what he deserved, which is nothing. So that's good.
Kyle's waiting for Steve to apologize. That's how ego works. Yes. Yeah, how dare Steve do the thing that Kyle told him to do. So sue me. He would have to end his contempt, then I might.
Wonder if this is the end of this segment.
It might be.
I consider it. So I'm glad to know most people in the chat here at least have understood that there is a line of
you all understand now
and what you're doing, which is what I brought.
There's
up
a
with
line
brother.
of what you say and do.
Anything besides saying, "Yo, I'm sorry"? Has he done anything else to rectify the situation? What did he apologize for? Did he just apologize for embarrassing you? Did he apologize for actually just embarrassing himself? Did he apologize for treating you cruelly as a child? What did he apologize for? Because if it's none of those things, do you even know what he apologized for?
Oh, good. I'm so glad that she talked about this. So let's get it back to the point of the conversation in the beginning, which was people can't stay in your lane, don't ask for apologies, all that stuff that she started in the beginning. And she was referring to the Ilya Moon situation and the Sean situation and asking people like Reds to actually apologize and actually do a decent apology. And her saying, fuck you, I don't want to give an apology, right? So let's talk about this.
These
Reds
guys are
does
all
not know
cut
how
from
to
the same cloth. Is that it?
No, Reds doesn't know how to give a good apology. That's why people are like, go and do it right, which is I messed up here.
Yeah.
I should have known better, and stop using the victim card and just be straight up. Like, you're not the victim. The people that donated were like,
We'll just accept him slinking away and crawling under a rock like he is currently doing. That's fine too.
Right. Like, just, it's unreal. And then she's giving demands about how Kyle hypothetically ought to apologize, but no one's going to believe Kyle anyway because he's so sweet talking and Southern now that we know that his charm and wily ways will just be like, he'll go back to whatever he was doing before. Kyle will say one thing and do what he wants. So.
Or in this case, excuse me. People should pay attention to something Kyle does. It's very interesting. He sometimes talks about himself in the third person. It's an important point. Yeah, he definitely does do that. It's really weird.
They're talking a lot about Kyle when they should be talking about the cancer scam, but whatever.
Is there anything else on here that we need to know about? Does it go on, or is it just all Kyle from now on? Let's see. Let me skip a little bit.
Sometimes it's best to just fuck off.
We should end it on that because that would be perfect.
Walking away is the best. Sometimes that is the case. Give it up and walk away.
Yes.
But I don't know. What about here's an example. What about the case of Ilya? Ilya has spent some time apologizing, but it didn't just come in words; it came in action.
So Ilya, let me tell you how Ilya's action happened.
This is great. This is great.
Nate had a sit down, come to Jesus conversation with Ilya. Reds and Fight the Flat Earth. I have a feeling Fight the Flat Earth flailed around, but he doesn't know how to do even international Skype calls.
No.
So I don't think he's very skilled. And I have a feeling, but I think he meant well, but he flails around everywhere, and who knows.
Okay, here's how it actually happened. Hold on a minute. The way it actually happened is Ilya heard that Nate contacted the police in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she quick got on a phone call with him. She called him, and she tried to position herself as, look, you know, all my friends have my documents. They've seen the social security numbers. They've signed an NDA, so nobody can actually show them. But these people are going to vouch for me now. I've enlisted them into this scam. And then Fight the Flat Earth came in and handed the actual documents over to Nate while they were on the call.
How
and then
dare
Ilya was reduced to tears because she knew she had been fucking busted. That's what happened.
Right. So he had this come to Jesus moment with Ilya, and Ilya cried and was to tears because she knew the authorities were being contacted, and she knew that the invoice was wrong, everything was wrong, and she was stuck. If you want to see that video, it's on Nate's channel. He breaks it down. It shows the invoices. It shows the effort that was put into it, and he even has the call and everything. And it's just
your overly confident friend Ilya, who you helped reach a position of status in this community when she had no actual talent, but for scamming people. When you did that, and when she did what she did, she was so confident that she thought she could fool Nate. That's how stupid she and whoever advised her that would be a good idea is.
Well, we see this a lot. I think it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect, and we see this kind of with G-Man, like, these cretins on the internet that are just like, I'm so smart, and how G-Man swaggers through, and he's just he's a dummy. He's dense, and he comes through,
they're
and
locals. That's
Dillahunty, who's definitely a great deal smarter than G-Man. Dillahunty somehow has to engage with him. He's always chasing Matt Dillahunty, for instance, and you see him, yipping at his heels. And Dillahunty just is like, you're not even going to stand in my shadow, buddy. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
We see this a lot in the other communities. Like, it's fascinating.
Yeah, and Maya, yes, she actually did go into full Nate. And if you listen very carefully to that recorded phone call, you will hear her start out like very confident, like she's just here to set the record straight, blah, blah, blah. And then she tries to pull this bullshit that she's showed everybody absolute proof, but they had to sign an NDA. And then that somebody knew it. They just turned it over to Fight the Flat Earth, who gave it to Nate during the call. It was great. So, I mean, like, he did redact some of that, like, you bleeped it out, but if you listen to it carefully, that's exactly what happened. She walked into a trap that she thought she was going to trap Nate in by saying, yeah, we got it all covered. But by the end of that call, she was bawling her eyes out and begging him to give her a couple of days to figure out what to do. So,
oh gosh. So Ilya is doing the right thing under great duress. This is not her moral integrity. This is her, please, shit, I don't want to go to jail. I actually have some people back home in real life that care about me, and they're going to be affected by this. Help me get out of this.
She brought up her mother. She tried to say, oh, this is involving my family now. If you don't watch out, my family is involved. They're going to come after you, blah, blah, blah. That kind of
crap. And some of it was a defensive maneuver, too. It was like, it doesn't just affect me. It affects my family, meaning that, like, if if you take me down, you're going to hurt all these people. And I mean, don't you think that's how that works? Do you think Kyle doesn't have family, you idiots? Like, we all do.
No, who cares about Kyle's mom? Who cares?
Do you think Kyle's mom might not be like affected if he ends up in jail? You morons, assholes.
Yeah. And I don't know.
But then again, Kyle, if you couldn't be bothered to pick up appointments.
I think what Ilya did is used her mother's documents to show people in the behind the scenes. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Here's the evidence of cancer or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of hard to know unless you were there, right? But nobody's talking about it, any of that. So we'll just speculate.
Right. So Ilya's doing the right thing, guys.
She did the right thing. She returned the money. Yeah.
Or is attempting to. She's got a lawyer, and they're loading it through GoFundMe, and they're loading it backwards.
Yeah, this was the most satisfying. By the way, looking into this crap and knowing that it was going to be published, looking into this cancer scam wasn't fun. None of it was fun except that. That's the only satisfying part was the Nate part, really.
Yeah, Nate. Seeing how Nate works is fantastic. Like Unirock's tenacity with his folks that have bothered to research and kind of keep track and put it all on paper, bothered to.
Yeah, and when Unirock said, I was listening to one of his scopes, and he said, they are staring up into the sky. He just had this moment. He said, they are all staring up into the sky, looking at a comet that is heading to Earth with a giant piece of bread that's on crack riding it. And it is going to fucking destroy their world. That was hilarious. That was a good moment too. I did laugh at that.
Oh man, like it's unbelievable. But anyway, okay. Ilya's doing the quote unquote right thing under great duress. I'm sure Kyle will do that eventually too.
Okay.
She got a lawyer. She went through GoFundMe, and everybody got their money back. That's action, right?
That's
You know what else is action? Me following up with the Knoxville police. That's also action, because
yeah,
she scammed people, so I think that's illegal.
I wouldn't expect anybody to believe anything she says for a very long time, if anybody ever. But there
$5 they're going to reintroduce her to the community under a different name.
What has gone wrong? And you'll notice that a lot of the people that demand apology, like there are people who are opportunistic around these sorts of situations. There always will be.
I don't know anyone who demanded an apology from Ilya at all.
That were the people who have been opportunistic, you'll notice, are going to demand apologies instead of
I think she's confusing the demand of apology with you ought to apologize to these people. And I don't mean like bend the knee to Unirock or bend the knee to Nate. I mean, like, why aren't you apologizing to your viewers? What the fuck is wrong with this card?
I know. She has no culpability in this. She's just lecturing people.
She is about as bad as Jason and Shani. If you watch Jason and Shani, I recommend it on Dragnut. They're getting evicted. They have sat on their money, wasting their money, and they're getting evicted, and they are blaming their viewers and anybody and everything, including the sons that live with her, over the eviction. Chess is just like a tier up on the tard ladder, where she is just blaming anybody and everybody, except for, I don't know, the people that actually said, hey, this is a good fundraiser. You ought to donate it. Let me promote it. Instead, she's just like, how dare you guys? How dare you guys show?
Okay, we're going to show something. Let's show something.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna change pace here. I'm gonna, are you going to screen share this time?
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me try it. Let me find it first.
It doesn't require audio, right?
No. Okay.
Mind you, we're unscripted and we haven't ever watched this video. So if we're rambly or like just, please, keep in mind that this is like us live watching this.
Okay. Share screen. Okay, can you see that? Oh, I have to add it, or you do? You have to add it. Okay, look at this. Oh wait, it's Golden Unicorn. Where is she? These screenshots come from the Doxing group. Somebody referred to them as data collectors. And 3 people, I've heard that 3 people gave these to Crafty Keela.
Can I put
Now-
a pause on your, when you say doxing group, what do you mean?
They gather information on people, their background looking, just snooping
Okay,
into
okay.
people's backgrounds. We all value our anonymity on the internet. At least some of us old schoolers do, or used to. And what they do is, if somebody's causing Steve or Reds any trouble on the internet, these people will go and look into their backgrounds. We've known about this for years. Yeah. But they always have plausible deniability. Somebody in the group has taken that plausible deniability away from them here, because we're putting our foot down. It's like Crafty Keela has been harassed by these little cretins, and all she did, and here's what Golden Unicorn is posting into the Doxing group. Oh, Crafty Keela made a video interviewing Ilya Moon. How offensive to them. But to everybody else, we appreciated it, right? And then,
Thank you, Crafty. Thank you.
And then she tags AT2 Production, AT2 Productions.
There's a reason why they do that, right? I told you about Jared and Sean being generals. Remember?
Yeah, they work behind the scenes in this. It's a veterans group, I think, too. That's what's sad about it. And she says, are you still planning to make that video? And she's downloading Crafty's video for some reason. It was an interview with Ilya Moon after the fact, and it was kind of revealing. She's downloading a copy of it. Like, okay. Yeah. And then he doesn't respond right away. This happened at 2:30 a.m., I guess. And then she says at 2:47, oh, look, the plot hole did something too. Yeah. And then Jared comes back with, which video? I already put out my statement video a week ago. And she's like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, his semi-threat statement video.
Yeah. He thought that was a real big deal. He started on Twitter posting his name in German as I have a big dick. And then at 3:28, she just says, okay. But she comes back again 15 minutes later or so and says, dunno, I thought there might be a video about Crafty, but no pressure, lol. Nikki Daly, LOL. And then we're going to continue here. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, that thing. Okay. He's replying to her saying, I thought there might be a video about Crafty. Oh, that thing. Yeah. While I'm not getting directly involved into that shit publicly, there are people that have the information. Failed politicians will be known for how they truly are soon enough. And she says, wise. Yeah. So
what
poor
does that mean?
hold on, let me just explain. Poor Golden Unicorn was crying on their veterans stream last week.
Yeah. It's
because
okay. There's more vodka in the cooler.
She was so upset that her group of friends lost control of the narrative and were exposed for not one, but 2 fraudulent fundraisers. And not only that, one was a cancer scam, a person claiming to have cancer who didn't have cancer. So that's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad look on these women like Golden Unicorn, Cheshire Vic, a few other people.
This is why
who-
Manya drinks.
Listen, whenever anybody criticized them, okay, this happened to Crafty Keela. Whenever anybody criticized them, like Sippin' Tea with Joe, what would happen? And they've described it already. I've got evidence of all of them talking about this. Not only Crafty Keela, but Sippin' Tea with Joe also said she did something on her own channel that they did not approve of. She was a group of these women were talking about their own experience having sexual assault happen to them. And this group of dudes came into their comment sections and started berating them for talking about sexual assault without their permission, and that it was going to harm Ilya's project or whatever it is that they were planning. It's just really sick shit. So, I mean, like, Manya has been a little harasser right along with these guys all this time. And so she was really upset to see Crafty Keela winning. And that is why they're planning to dox Crafty Keela and invade her privacy and her anonymity online. It's really sick. And people need to out these motherfuckers and tell them to go crawl under a rock as well. That's my opinion. So I'm going to stop sharing. The screenshots are out now. There's more coming, but I'm sure those guys are now trying to figure out who they got in there spying. But you guys are busted as well. Have a nice day. Yeah. Did you stop my sharing? Yes, you did. Okay.
Yeah, because you said to stop sharing, so I stopped sharing.
Goodness, I didn't know you. I thought I had to do it. Okay.
I can be a producer when I'm not actually talking at the same time, but walking and talking at the same time, that's too hard.
Okay. All right, cool. I just want to open up my window again so I can see the live chat.
Oh my gosh.
So
like,
what do you guys think about that? Let's hear it from the live chat.
Yeah, I want to hear
Press
opinions.
F. Press F if these guys should be shamed and named and run out on a rail. But anyway.
F in chat. F for respect. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
A2 said it's Brainy who's spying.
Oh, that'd be great. If it was Brainy, that would be perfect.
The betrayal.
Brainy Beaver. He's a beaver who is brainy.
Gosh.
That's what these fuckers do. If they spent more time producing like interesting content, that would be one thing. But no.
Well, the thing is like
I
Jared.
turned it over. Dat high guy. If Nate didn't, I did. It's done. I'll show you a copy of my police report.
There's a lot of Fs. My God. Audience participation. In chat, did you guys understand this weird equivocation thing that she was making with people that want an apology for supporting and promoting fraudsters versus Kyle apologizing? Does anybody like get that, what she's doing there?
Wasting time. That's what she's doing.
The only thing I can think of is she's going, segue, look over here, let's smash this guy instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They've
really
been doing
funny.
that ever since this happened. Like, they haven't come forward and say, holy shit, I didn't know, guys. I did not know she was a lying cretin. That she'd lied about rape, lied about the death of her son, lied about all the stories she told us to gain sympathy. And we put her on our platforms. We had her on Steve McRae's 2 channels talking about all this stuff and weaponizing it against Exiled, Crafty Keela, Holy Spackle, the TST. She lied about the death threats.
So let me tell you a story about Ilya Moon. I think I've told it before, but I'll tell it again. So Ilya makes this tweet and plea hysterical. And this is probably before we see a lot of menace on the scene, and before I'm just kind of taking out some of the usual suspects of like people they go hysterical over. not so much menace and negative exponents, but it was more like the TST crowd, like myself, Fiona, Exiled, and maybe some others. Anyway, Steve had been receiving some pushback on some nonsense and different things going down, and then all of a sudden, Ilya Moon is pro-clutching. At the time, I didn't know who Ilya really was. So like this was actually my introduction to Ilya was she's like people are like, oh my God, Ilya is claiming that somebody sent death threats to her. And I was like, oh, that's not cool, even though like I'm, highly skeptical. But so knowing that, like I use rhetoric, Red's rhetoric uses rhetoric, and sometimes there's always that one person in any group that kind of gets a little too far, right? That one person that might be willing to dox or whatever. It's in every community. I don't care what community you're part of. You might have somebody that's just unhinged enough to do doxing or something terrible, right? So you squash that, and if you catch somebody doing that, you remove them from your discords and stuff like that, right? So the same thing that goes with death threats. Like we don't break our toys. We don't death threat. We don't do things that we don't, the whole like, do unto others as you want unto you kind of thing does apply. Doxing's not cool. Death threats are not cool, things like that, right? So she says, I was receiving death threats, and the implication was from the TST crowd, which I happen to know the TST folks. None of us are doxers, but whatever. So I go on to my alts because she blocked my main one. So I go on my alts and I say, hey, listen, we think it's unacceptable that somebody would send you death threats. We want to get down to the bottom of this on our side and make sure that it's not somebody in our community. Do you have any screenshots of these, or have you reported it to the police? Because I recommend, if you're getting death threats, report it to the cops, make a police file, because guess what? If you log into your phone once and you're making threats, they can actually trace it down. So like if somebody's giving death threats, report that shit.
She deleted it. She said she deleted them.
Right.
Who deletes death threats? You save them for the
right
for a record of the
she tells me they're deleted, and I'm just like,
an idiot.
What? Then she blocks me.
So they were using those death threats up until Crafty Keela. They used that story that they told, and they built it up on Steve's channel. I have,
because that's how Ilya wanted to be one of them, right? I'm one of your persecuted.
A valid death threat, said Cheshire. So when Crafty Keela made a misstatement in one of her videos talking about Ilya, they took that and said, oh, she just threatened to dox Ilya. Oh my God, they threatened to dox Ilya. And Ilya, of all people, should not be doxed because why? Because she had a valid death threat certified by Cheese Whiz. Okay? They were using that story all the way up until Crafty Keela, smearing us. So basically, this other bad group of people, they caused her to get a death threat. And now this death threat is real, guys. It's really real. And Crafty Keela needs to be nicer to Ilya because she has a valid death threat. Somebody's going to show up and kill her at her house or something. This is just so much. It's so many threat narratives. So many threat narratives. You can't keep track of them all, but I was watching and I was paying attention.
It was so over the top, like, right? So like I happen to know like it's just not the vibe of the community to do that. So like, but like if you're getting a death threat, wouldn't you screen cap that shit? Especially if you're using it as like a waving around, someone sent me a death threat. Oh my God.
No, and then Cheshire was sitting there trying to, what time did you get that death threat? Was it before or after Holy Spackle content?
She tried to pin it on me.
Let me speculate on this on a live stream in front of hundreds of people. Maybe she sent it.
I don't
cast aspersions on my enemies.
Right. So just so you know, I don't send death threats. That's not how I roll. I can call you a stupid cunt or whatever, but I will not
kill you. I'm gonna kill you. All of you. I'm gonna blow up your internets, and you're all gonna be dead.
The internets. All the pixels.
Yeah, it's also silly, isn't
All
it?
the pixels.
You shouldn't have to answer that. The fact that you're even answering
No,
that
it's
you
just
don't send death threats is just how
no. It's
ridiculous it all is.
I'm
I
not
sent death
answering
threats to
that.
Ilya. I did it. I did. I sent her a
Please,
death threat.
I know you're doing it tongue in cheek, but
Well,
just so you know, YouTube monitors just words being said. So
oh, I'm sorry.
right,
Okay. The thing is, we have arguments, and that's what we used the entire time. Yeah. We
right.
used arguments.
So we used our words.
We don't need to do any threats of any kind. We can just use arguments, but
Right.
no.
Unless you do cancer fraud, we might call the cops.
Yep.
That's the kind of threat you might get is you harm
That's-
children, you commit massive fraud, maybe authorities will be contacted, but
You got a Peaky Blinders death threat? Conspiracy cats?
Peaky Blinders.
Creaky gets.
Mm.
Somebody death threated you.
Yeah. So I know that there's people that don't know us and I was saying that for their benefit. That's definitely not how we roll. But I have a
It's
little
just
clip.
so silly.
It's 3 minutes and it shows the little brain of Cheshire and how she accuses myself and my friends of being part of the dark
Ooh.
web. I don't even know how to dark web.
Yeah.
I heard the dark
Do
web
it.
exists for body parts that are for sale and other sick things that we won't talk about.
Yeah.
I am not part of this dark web, but
That's where I get my monkey brains.
is it where you get your monkey brains? Oh, that
Yeah.
makes so much sense. The dark web, that's so dark, I don't know how to reach it. So let me
All right,
let me
play it.
share this.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous. Can you stop your share on your end as well? There you go. Thank you. For some reason, it was
Yeah.
like, do you want to share that? I'm like, I don't want to share that. Okay, 1 second.
I don't want to show my Discord.
Da, da. Okay, I am playing it. This is hilarious. R.I.P. Bull. This was done before Bull left this plane, so sorry about that, Bull.
January 2020.
I recorded this on my phone, and for some reason that random
It's so
ad's
weird
on
to
there.
see ads on YouTube. I've never seen
But
them.
Dave, did you want to?
Yeah, I have an ad blocker elsewhere, but not on my phone.
Oh, I was just gonna. Damn it! Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any indication on my end. That's why.
Is that perfect?
Thank you. I was just gonna say I was ambushed while
Yeah.
you were while you were away
I heard.
by
Don't
two
mention-
of our
don't mention their names.
lovely.
Rawr.
I'm not going to.
He means scientist Sam and Deidre, the Holy Spackle.
You know, when you get into a situation where you are in a kind of in a public forum and ambush like that, keep your cool as much as possible, but don't get the
I want to give you some context. This ambush that he speaks of. So, Midnight created a hangout called The Airing of Grievances. And so, because he created a hangout, which the link was accessible to the airing of grievances, and it was linked to me, I was like, oh, well, I have some grievances with Bull, and I see Bull's in here, liking some really nasty comments while saying that he's a friend of mine. So I came in to be like, Bull, we're not friends, and then it turned into a big escalation. And he's the one that escalated. Actually, he's the one that brought up the escalation. I was keeping it pretty low key, but he went directions I wasn't planning on going. He gets in hysteria, and it turns into drama for him. And he has to have this stream ripped down and runs over and cries to Nick Suter about it all.
This is when they were smearing Scientist Mel. And
Right.
And Holy Spackle went in to give Scientist Mel's point of view.
No, I did not. I did not. I
Oh.
literally went in to talk to Bull about Twitter and how he's a piece of shit and has been a shit to me, and how he can't call me his friend and do that. It's just, and I cited some reasons of how he upvoted some things that were really nasty, horrible, calling me cunts and shit. And I was just like, you upvoted these votes. And he said, well, I only heart tweets that I've read. And that's how I know I've read them. And I said, that's some bullshit answer, Bull. And we got into a fight like that. And I was using examples of how women who have starred on non sequitur show like Shannon Q and like, and my opinions are my own opinions. My opinions are my own opinions. Like, this is just my observation. But
Yeah.
women like Shannon Q, women like Scientist Mel that have starred on NSS, and they pitted them against monsters like those what are those virgins for life guys that think they're incels. They pit them against incels. The only people that reap the negative impact of that is the women. The boys, Kyle or Steve, Bullinator, the producer, do not reap the negative impact of that. Only women do. And that was the point I was going to make. And then Bull went all ballistic. So did I ambush Bull? No, Bull just has autism and doesn't know what I'm talking about, apparently.
Okay, so you went in and upset Bull, and he's complaining about it in this clip.
So he's complaining about in this clip. So Bull's perception is completely whacked, but he's got some problems. So what's even more whack than Bull's perception is the Goblin's perception. So listen to this twat explain things.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, go ahead.
Don't give them, like, I don't know how to phrase it. Don't give them
ammo satisfaction.
Don't give them the satisfaction.
Well, you went off. I heard you went off on them.
Oh, I did.
He said, "We're not friends," and then left.
They said about you it was because they were practicing apologetics for some moral high ground on a person.
Well, I'm sorry, but defending a rapist is the lower ground.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So just so you know, the screen, the thing that got pulled down is that Bull made it equivalency to a behavior of somebody betraying a friend to equal as rape, and I went ballistic on that equivocation because betraying a friend is not equal to rape. That's fucking stupid, and I just tore him a new one. Okay. Then Bull went whining, crying, and called everybody for his rescue, and now this is the aftermath of it.
Poor Bull. Okay.
That has no moral high ground, and I don't even want to mention that person.
And yeah, we don't for a reason. Like I said, when I say there's people worse out than Katie, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic.
No.
At all. And these are dangerous people. These are people
who've
actually done things in real life to harm people.
Okay, point of contention. Done things to people in real life. Steve, I live 30 minutes away from you. I don't fucking do shit to you. Shut the fuck up.
You mean they met up and got together like everybody agreed to do? But anyway, that's
yeah, the San Francisco trip. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, what the fuck? I
can't wait to hear Cheshire though. So
what the hell is that?
These are the kind of people that we're talking about when I say that the internet is a dangerous place, because you don't know what's lurking underneath this surface, and that there's the vanilla internet, and then as you start getting deeper and deeper, you get into like the dark recesses, and there's like, they're not as bad as like the darkest parts of the internet, but they're starting to get starting. You're no longer in vanilla internet anymore, and these people will find your family and call your family. These people.
What? Anyway.
People will find your job,
your landlord. Yeah,
they'll call your landlord and try.
And this is what Bull
try to get you to kill yourself. I mean, they want people. They want people to. These are the kind of people that actually will place bets whether the person.
Oh my God!
Enough.
Yeah.
We're not talking about normal, rational people. And so, real quick, failed in engineering, $5 super sticker. You're number one. Thank you, Manya.
Wink.
Manya, you got.
Yeah, thank you, Manya, for proving that you dive into people's real life, like Crafty Keela. Thanks for the $5 super chat.
It's interesting, the projection, right? And it's fascinating that Manya just donated right as we're talking about that, because Manya's in the screenshots that you shared with them, coming after Crafty.
Rescue
and stuff.
me by
right.
making a video exposing Crafty Keela, something she did before she was even on the internet with us.
Right.
Okay, because she did nothing wrong. So
y'all, am I dark webbing right? I don't know.
You didn't get the monkey brains. I obtained those with crypto.
Yeah. So I don't know how to dark web. I'll figure it out. I think I could put Rev's asshole on the dark web. He did put that out on OnlyFans, and there's a picture of it out. I could maybe like put that on the dark web, but it would have like Vaughn's like head coming out of it or something like that. Like what is the dark web? I don't understand. Also, bets to kill people, or for people to kill themselves, like these people have these really big imaginations. Like I don't understand.
They put on a smear campaign. I actually have evidence of them doing it in Discords across different YouTube shows where they would orient the moderators, say, look, this is what Steve's up against. This group gets people to kill themselves. They pretend that they lie about people and say they were kidnapped and all this other crap. Yeah, really bad people, really bad trolls, really, really bad. We gotta protect Steve, guys. This has been going on since 2019 when I showed up around September, because that's the evidence I now have.
Right.
I have evidence of someone from a well-known political channel orienting his moderator as to these bad trolls, which I'm a member of. Yeah. And that means that
this is the list
you can
of
dox
people.
us, you can harass us now because we're so bad.
Right? We're just monstrous. How dare us?
Yep. If I find out these people have been snooping into anybody else, I'm just going to go ballistic. I hope whoever's in there can bring out more evidence of this crap that they've been doing.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But it's not shocking, right? Like it's kind of what Jared's always been hinting towards things like that.
The bathroom selfies. Oh, those were disgusting. They're talking about them in the live chat. Steve's bathroom selfies.
Oh God, yeah.
Yuck. Sorry.
Tinder, baby.
But anyway.
Oh God.
I don't know.
So there is some more of this. I guess she's talking about Ilya Moon some more. Do we want that, or are we done?
I think we've had enough. If anybody wants, they can go watch and listen. Thank you for sending me the stream. I have not watched it until we reviewed it right here. It's always fun going over Cheshire's streams and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah, definitely ridiculous. So I'm going to play us out. I'm going to start with like some of her nonsense, and I'll play some music, and you guys can chant and banter in the chat. And then Negative Exponents wants that video I played, I guess, of the dark web. I can send that over. Yeah,
He's
no
got
problem.
A channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and play us out. I'm just going to replay some of the nonsense she said, just kind of without any yapping over it, and then some music. So thank you so much for showing up. This is probably the most live viewers I've ever had, so I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of folks came from Unirock, actually, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
I tend to like to just talk to people in general. So like lately I've been kind of stuck exposing people, but generally I like to do videos on people's world beliefs and, talk about, their views on religion and life and stuff like that. If you ever want to do that, I enjoy doing that a lot. Actually, it's what actually fires me up online more than this stuff. As much as I'm a shit poster on Twitter, that's not all I am. So I appreciate you guys popping in. And definitely check out Unirock streams about similar things like this, and check out Nate Brody's streams about this. Nate has some really concise short videos, or fairly short videos, that kind of explain some stuff with the Fraudulent. And appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe.
More Fraudulents are coming out. I just learned, so we'll see.
Yeah. I just do this for fun, so yeah, I appreciate your kindness for showing up. So I'm going to play us out. Thanks.
Shout out to the live chat.
Shout out to the live chat.
things you said was correct, that doesn't mean, one, you're appreciated for being right. Two, that anybody should apologize for telling you to fuck off in the first place, because whether you were right or wrong wasn't the reason you were getting told to fuck off. The reason you're getting told to fuck off was because of your behavior, not because of the information that is buried in your bullshit, right? So the thing is that you don't get apologies without understanding. And when you step into someone else's sphere and you were not invited into that sphere, you're not going to get any apologies because you weren't supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, you ought to be apologizing. If you found out that something went wrong for somebody and you knew that that was coming and you tried to warn them, earnestly tried to warn them, but you still stepped into their sphere, you stepped out of line. And what you ought to be doing is saying, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that that happened to you. I know I overstepped my bounds and I'm sorry. I was really just trying to look out, and you can either take that or leave that. But that's what decent human beings do.
The streets of Salem were a terrifying sight. The witches dancing with the demons in the night. Their evil minions watch the town while it's in bed. Wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead, wish 'em dead. Old Reverend Paris knew that something was amiss. He felt the evil from a spiritual abyss. He knew the time had come to purify the town. Hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down, hunt 'em down. No time was wasted in assembling a squad. This pitchfork army on a mission sent from God. No witch was saved from Reverend Paris's brigade. Their crusade, their crusade, their crusade. Call the magistrate and don't you wait another minute, 'cause this town is going to hell if we don't put away the sinning. And we got no time to let a jury have their turn. Let 'em burn, let 'em burn, let 'em burn. The damned were crammed into a carriage on the square. Their faces battered and their bodies all were bare. The Reverend led them to an isolated hill. Time to kill, time to kill, time to kill. One by one their necks were snapped beneath the cedar tree. The spirits vanished and the demons all were free. They dug a hole to hold the devilish remains. They were slain, they were slain, they were slain. The town was safe from all those wicked dissidents. They could continue with their life of innocence, dispensing justice from a higher power. They built a church atop the spirits and the bones. Their moans were heard as they were laying down the stones. But the witches got revenge beneath that steeple bell. They cast a spell, sent the Reverend to hell.